It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
I've been truly regretting this episode. Not because we have one political episode, not because we have a tremendous social episode that's so good it's broken up into 4 parts, but I actually have a video that I have to show that kind of proves that Diaz was right. Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show in SBS3. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, along with Tracy Carson, Diaz Robinson, and Anna Hart. And yes, you heard that correctly. I have a video that shows that Diaz might be correct on one of his points.
You went from he was right to he might be.
Yeah, he backpedaling hard, ain't he? But it's okay.
Yeah, backpedaling is about as hard as a Republican. I'm going.
No.
So, yeah. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
A little low energy tonight, but you know, I'm not out of it. I'm just not gonna be yippee-ki-yay throughout the whole show. So before we get started, let's see who's out. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Tracy, that's on the show.
Hello, Tracy.
Sorry, I
What's
did
up,
not
Parker?
do my Parker. All right.
2 shows in a row, Parker.
And he saw the video that I sent him.
And please hit the like button. It does help a whole lot.
And share this video.
As
Subscribe if you
always,
haven't.
please hit that like button. Please subscribe if this is your type of content. And even after the show and during the show, leave a comment because
You can't leave a comment until it's not live anymore.
yeah, until it's not live anymore. So if you're seeing the
But you can
replay,
chat.
but for right now, just chat with us because we're gonna get
Chat
into
with
it.
us.
So without
Ooh,
further ado, let's get
I'm
this
chatty.
party started. I see. So let's go ahead and get the political thing out of the way. And I don't know if we discussed it last week or it was during when we were talking or texting and everything. But Republicans in Georgia try to prevent people from early voting on Saturdays. It has officially been shut down, but just to get a breakdown of it, here's a video that explains it a little better.
Following the November 8th election, neither Raphael Warnock nor Herschel Walker had attained 50% of the vote. So under Georgia state law, they are going to a December 6th runoff. In the past couple weeks, the two parties, Republicans and Democrats, have fought over whether early voting should be allowed tomorrow, November 26th, with Democrats wanting the extra day while Republicans were adamantly opposed. In fact, several Republican groups, including the Republican National Committee, filed lawsuits to stop early voting on Saturday. They were unsuccessful, and the courts sided with the Saturday voting. But not all counties are on board, and there's been confusion because Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger had already told counties they could not hold early voting on November 26th. So now that the courts have said otherwise, only 10 counties will have early voting tomorrow. Republican groups have said those 10 counties are all Democratic-leaning counties. All the other counties will wait until Monday. And for our area, in southeast Georgia, all the counties will wait to start voting on Monday, except Ware County. They will allow earlier voting starting tomorrow.
So again, this is one of those.
You see how crazy that county's drawn up?
I was like, look at that tiny little strip down there to connect it with the bigger part.
Welcome to Georgia. We got 133 counties, I want to say. And
wow.
Yeah, some of them are quite creative.
So as you see, this one of, in my opinion, this was one of those attempts that they knew wasn't going to pass, but they knew what damage could be done, and the damage was done.
Well, they knew it was. They actually, it did pass. Like, so, layers upon layers, right? So, back when we had Governor Deal, the predecessor to Kemp, he was the one who passed the law about like you can't have, you can't have like the Saturday voting within however many days of a holiday, and then he created, or he didn't create it, already existed, but he made it an official state holiday for Confederates Day, so that it could block your ability to have that. But then they did this thing where they shortened how many weeks? Pardon me, how many weeks we had for early voting? From 9 to 6. And that was why this Saturday, the one yesterday, became an issue, because it's the only Saturday that existed in our early voting schedule once they shortened how long you have to vote. So it's games within games. I mean, and then right now, because no one really learns the lesson, right? They just take their talking points and run with them. So the Republicans on their side are saying, hey, look, we actually have higher turnout than we had before. So obviously this isn't voter disenfranchisement. So basically they fought back harder than I expected them to. So obviously they're okay, right? And then you got the Democrats who are acting like they got some kind of a mandate coming out of this election when really they didn't. So no one's looking at what's really going on. But hey, Georgia, early voting starts on Monday. I understand that most of you didn't know about Saturday. I don't trust what they were doing with these games. I didn't want my vote tied up in some weird court battle, which is why I didn't bother voting Saturday. But go out there and vote this week. Literally will take you maybe 5 minutes. So just, just show up.
Yeah, pretty much. Just show up. Mickey is here. Hi, y'all. Sorry I'm late, but I was educating a brainwashed Trumpster who insists that Biden and Bernie started the war in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Ooh, child, don't waste your time
Wow.
with them people.
Just
Wow.
Just because.
Good for you, Mickey. Yes.
You
More
better
power
than me,
to
because
you.
I ain't got time for that kind of foolishness.
That ain't better than me. I'm not fit to hold a conversation with something like that. Like I said, once it's just like whoosh, I'm like, okay. I can't do that no more. Prove it to me and show me and what you talking about. No.
Well, I noticed I caught myself slipping a little bit. So like yesterday I was hanging out with my brother, and we met this older gentleman. I think he said he was 70. A black man. And we were having a conversation about voting. And my brother's not really big on voting, right? He's one of those cats. It's like, I don't see nothing coming out of it, blah, 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 right? And so I'm talking to him, and the older gentleman picks up on it, and he starts talking too. And it was a good conversation, but it reminded me that I allowed myself to kind of start slipping a little bit because I've been focusing too much on that political side because we're in a political season.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really my politics either. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fight the political fight, but you also got to fight the street fight. You also got to fight the economic fight. You got to fight the organizing fight. You got to fight on every level in every way. And like one point I made to the older gentleman, I was like, if I talk to somebody and they say that they don't vote, personally, I think it's the minimum you can do. Like, it don't even take no real effort, folks. You know what I'm saying? Go cash your little lottery ticket. You might win something, right? But if you tell me that you don't and you have your reasons why you don't, and then I ask you, well, what do you do instead? If you can tell me something else you're doing, I'm not going to push you too hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say, I appreciate it. I wish you would still vote. But, you out here taking care of the seniors. You out here taking care of the kids. You out here trying to organize in your community. You know what I'm saying? You doing the good work. At least you win the fight, So I'm getting back on my own too on this one, man, because I noticed I was slipping hard. I was like, dang, huh? I mean, you get sucked into this mess.
Did anybody else's power go, like the screen just go out and then y'all came all back on, or was it just me?
Anna's went out.
Mine went out, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm like, where did everybody go?
Everybody just froze on my end. So, Theos, would you like to repeat everything you just said? No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, I ain't saying nothing that was all that important. No way.
But what are you specifically slipping on? I'm a little.
Oh, meaning that my focus became a little bit too much on politics. You know
Gotcha.
So,
Nice.
because like Marlon, I don't think you guys were present at the time, but like I was telling Marlon, now that the Senate race, more or less the Senate race is behind us, we got to show up one more time, take care of this here in Georgia, folks. Just because there's no way Herschel Walker, I don't care what your politics are, you should be embarrassed to ever vote for Herschel Walker. I mean, you just should be embarrassed for real. Yeah, I wouldn't want him being a crossing guard, let alone being a senator. So there's that. But I'm back on my presidential kick, where it's kind of like the Democrats taking the wrong message coming out of this election is really irritating me. I knew they were going to do it, but it's always different when
it happens.
When it happens,
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, it's time for some brinksmanship. It's time for the Black community, the Latino community, the women who are able to operate outside of the red and blue, the queer community, everybody who has an agenda and a need. Find where we overlap on certain things and build voting blocks. Everybody ain't gonna come with you, but if you can get together something that says I can deliver 10,000 votes, I can deliver 30,000 votes, you can get somebody to pay attention to you a little bit, And I'm like, I don't care who gets to be president as far as party. I don't care who gets to be president as long as they don't get the House and the Senate too.
Yeah. We put this message up real quick. Yeah, I saw that full interview. You all wasn't lying, LOL. I don't understand how anyone can be running for a government elected position but take the stance of there should be no public schools.
Well, y'all leave
Safety
the
Best
interview.
Man was on
Leave the interview. Okay, I'm gonna keep on making references to Wilkins Coffee. That's what I'm gonna do.
I like those commercials.
You can go ahead and make it because the Wilson Coffee wasn't running for an elected position.
And he made more sense.
And it made more sense, yeah.
Lately, it was in the past. That's where the interview should be left at.
I got a whole month left.
I don't understand that concept. Like, at what point does something rest in the past? Like, it's situational, right? Like,
it is, but I'm
it's
calling
situational.
I'm saying this is interviews in the past. Let's talk about my good interviews.
You did a good job.
That was a good interview. Like I said,
look how much we're talking about it. It had to be a good interview.
Like I said last night, you were very good. You are a very good interviewer. Your interviewee put up on all four.
I'm listening to a brother talk about the free market system is the answer to all of our problems. Like he wouldn't, like his people didn't used to be part of that system.
We are the free market system.
Bruh.
It was free. My first response to him was polite, but my second, I laughed my ass off at his interview. But see, Mickey, and I
wouldn't have responded.
I just don't care no more. I really don't want to put in the energy to argue somebody down when I know 5 minutes from the time I finish the argument, they're going to start it right back from scratch with somebody new. I'm tired. I just don't want to do it anymore.
But here's the thing. If you're doing it one-on-one, like Mickey's kind of describing, y'all have heard me say this before. Decide what you want to come out of it as you're going in, So if you go in there just trying to dispute facts, it will never work. Like, it just doesn't work. They're so grounded in that whatever facts you got, they got one, But if you got the energy, and if you spend the time talking to one of these knuckleheads, you kind of got a little energy. You got to go towards, like, what are their aspirations? What are their expectations? What matters to them, and then draw them out.
Yeah. What is your end game with this argument that you're making?
Hey,
Well, it doesn't matter what theirs is. It's what yours is.
I would want to know by you saying, for instance, the Biden and Bernie started the war in Afghanistan, and I know you're wrong. But I'm not going to argue facts with you, especially to a group of people who my facts are fake and your facts is on the 15th channel of 15th page of Google. So I'm not going to argue with you on any of that thing. But I would ask, can you explain to me what is your goal from that statement that you made? What would you want to see happen? Because if it was true that Bernie and Biden started the Afghan war? What do you want to come from this?
They were both senators.
It's like, okay, they
But
were in the
that's just
Senate.
it.
They voted.
They were both
What's
They
up?
senators.
vote. I want to say they both voted for the war, didn't they?
They
Even
both
Bernie.
voted. Yeah.
Yeah, among
No,
a lot
Bernie
of other
voted
people.
against it.
Bernie didn't
Bernie voted against it. Biden voted for it.
Okay.
for it. Right.
That makes
That's
sense.
how it went.
Okay, you're right.
But you can't get into the
So-
weeds with that particular argument because one, they're reaching back 20 years on a war that nobody agrees with.
Yeah, it was a dumb
and
war to
then-
begin with.
And then it's like, so I wouldn't engage with them on this, but so you pointed out these two people that you think I support voted for this war, and everybody you support voted for this war. So what's
Parker
the
said both of
point?
them voted for it.
Parker, you better check that again.
He said the only one that voted against it was Barbara
Barbara Lee
Lee.
is a congressman.
That makes sense because I'm thinking Afghanistan, remember, was a response to September 11th.
Yeah, hold on.
Everybody was in unison. It was Iraq that people were like, yo, I don't know about that one. But Afghanistan, man, I'm gonna go with Parker. His facts always are real tight.
In the beginning, they were saying we should go to Afghanistan. Suddenly, the next morning, it was like we were in Iraq. Didn't Afghanistan start after?
No, Afghanistan happened first. Like within 2 or 3 weeks of us being attacked, we were moving on to Afghanistan. And then at some point, we pivoted into Iraq. And people are like, what?
What just happened? Yeah.
But weapons
Sanders
of
did
mass,
vote
yeah,
for
you
it.
know. They tried to kill his daddy, so he had to go handle some business. That's what that was.
It was the war that I'm getting confused with.
And in 2019, in 2019 interview, he admit that he was wrong. Bernie Sanders admit Barbara Lee, only member of the Congress in 2001 who did it right on the Afghan war.
And I think that this really kind of I'm not saying it's not important or have any value. I just don't think it has much value.
No, that was a fact-finding thing. It's just
No, I'm with you. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to authorizing a war, it's kind of like authorizing funds for defense. You know,
Right.
I can't hold against any senator authorizing more money for the Defense Department. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold that against you because America likes to walk around swinging a big stick. So if you don't want these people that we've been harassing for 200 years to come over here, then you better keep the big stick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that they should do a what do you call it? Like an audit. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to know about it. Like, there's a lot of stuff America, for real people, we don't need to know everything the government does. We just don't. Because we look how stupid we are with stuff they do tell us. But they should climb all up in those budgets.
Y'all just never gonna let me live this down.
Yeah, I think I know your answer to this question. No, you didn't.
No,
she did. I bet she did.
Oh, I think she.
There was nothing in that dude's attitude, answers, or anything that would go with, oh yeah, I support reparations. Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, he was like a baby ruckus. You know what I'm saying? I think of him like Clayton Bigsby. You know? So I'm like,
Cartman. All right, let's go ahead and get into the social aspect of it.
Thank you.
Trust me, there is so many tons of.
But get a man credit though. He showed up with his safety vest because you know safety first is always what matters. I respect.
Casey, what was the name of the first lady? Not Hanifa.
Constance Every. Constance was the first first female I ever had on.
Oh, she was great.
I liked her.
That was a really solid interview.
I liked her. This next story says I just found fascinating because I haven't did a social story in a long time. I know I do argue the a-hole things and it kind of dwindles into it, but this is just flat out the effect of Roe versus Wade on just a typical um, religious family. And like I said, this is so long that I had to break it down into 4 parts, but here's part 1.
My 20-year-old daughter, Lily, is in her sophomore year of college at an Ivy League school out of state where she got scholarships and financial aid. And she got pregnant by her boyfriend, Matt, who she then discovered is cheating on her. She dumped her boyfriend for cheating. Now she plans to abort the baby that she's 10 weeks pregnant with. I'm devastated because my husband and older daughter, Kara, who's 22, plan to help her do this despite my objections that it's wrong of Lily to abort her baby out of inconvenience. I thought that we were a Catholic family that, like all Mexican families, puts family above everything. But my husband in particular is doing this thing where he's justifying and rationalizing the abortion because it's Lily and I don't want her life to be ruined. Lily said that she deserves a better baby daddy and a better situation if she has kids in the future. And she got angry when I told her that the time for her to decide if she was willing to have him as the father of her child was before she passionately hugged him. But she got really mad at me and said that it's not her fault that she was lied to and cheated on. I don't disagree with that, but disliking that Matt cheated isn't a justifiable reason to murder a child. My husband said that having the baby will ruin Lily's life. I said that this doesn't have to. I told Lily that what we can do is have her transfer here to a nearby state college. Then I can drop down to part-time work to help while she continues school and we can raise the baby together. She told me, no effing way, because I'm not going to Arizona State where effing anyone can get in instead of this Ivy League school. I gotta pause here. If anyone out there is listening from Arizona State, sorry about the shade that this story is throwing on you. Kinda undeserved if you ask me. Anyway, she continued. There's a big difference in prestige between those two schools, and I don't want to give up where I'm going. I told her that actions have consequences, and Kara went off on me, saying that I sound like a crazy forced birther. Lily said that she doesn't want to raise the child, and then I told her that she needs to take responsibility for passionately hugging, and she rolled her eyes at me. Then she said, join us in 2022 where people don't have to be moms until they want to, and I don't want to right now. I'm only 20. Lily wants to go to an Ivy League law school and then move to New York City, and she said that a baby would totally mess that up. I offered to adopt the baby and raise it for her. Just please don't murder the baby. Lily said, I do not want to be pregnant with this effing baby and I'm getting rid of it. You need to accept that. And she hasn't talked to me in 3 days. This is driving a huge wedge between both my husband and I, Kara and I, and Lily and I, and I'm at a loss of what to do. Please pray for my family. I also don't know if I can stay in my marriage if my husband follows through with his promise to drive Lily back to her college, take her to get the abortion, and help her out for a few days while she recovers.
You just
I blame
keep
that
finding
magic book.
You just keep finding these terrible women. You just keep finding them.
I don't think she's terrible.
That's not a terrible. That's not no. I don't.
Here's my thing.
Which woman?
The
I don't
mothers.
think any of them are terrible.
Okay.
But
I was wondering which story.
Yeah, like the mom, you know, she is, tied down to the magic book, and the magic book says, in her interpretation, that you can't do this thing, and so she's trying to impose that on her daughter, who she named like a puppy. But I've never known a person named Lily. I've always known dogs named Lily. But anyway, that's doesn't matter. Shame on me. Bad theater.
Great Aunt Lily.
Bad take.
I'm sorry, but I need to get out more.
Yes.
My cousin named Lily.
I haven't met either of those people though, Anna. I'm just saying.
Well, I know.
To everybody, every woman out there named Lily, the views
I
that
was
this
wrong.
The views of this show does not exist.
What I said was insensitive. But yeah, so she has her religious beliefs and she's expressing them, which on that level, I don't see anything wrong with that. She's trying to stand for it, and this is also her daughter or her stepdaughter. I missed that part, but either way, that's her daughter. And so she's trying to provide counsel in her way. So all of these things, I don't have a problem with. And then for Lily's standpoint, so I'm gonna say two things. One, Lily, you're 20 years old. You know where babies come from, so you really should have been more responsible.
True.
Abortion is, I know a lot of women and a lot of pro-life people or pro-choice people are going to be against me for this little segment of what I'm about to say, but abortion shouldn't be birth control. That's how I personally feel. Now, it's your body; you do whatever you want to, but I don't feel that it's a convenience matter. It should be something bigger than that. But I ain't the one. So Lily's trying to make a decision for herself. And I think a lot of times what gets lost in the noise is we try to make one side or the other a villain and the other side a hero. And I'm like, neither one of them are. You know what I'm saying? Like you having an abortion because it's inconvenient for you, but it wasn't inconvenient for you to make sure you was in protective sex. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't too inconvenient for you, right?
Yeah, I did have an issue with her talking about I didn't know that he was cheating. I'm like,
Girl, if
so-
he wasn't
So
cheating,
like
he
if
was
he
gonna
wasn't
get
cheating,
like if he wasn't cheating, she was gonna keep the baby.
maybe.
Yeah.
But even that is within her wheelhouse, because the other part I was gonna say,
It's her body, but
even while I do not agree that in this situation, from what little they gave us, that an abortion should be an option, it is an option. And whatever she decides, she will literally be the one who has to deal with it. Ain't nobody else got to carry that but her, right? So if she has the abortion, having the abortion, from what I've experienced, that's not like a light switch moment. Like it's not like you had the abortion and then you go about your business, right? It's that baby has, in your mind, that baby has a planned birth date, that there was the experience of being with child. All these things go into it, similar to women who have miscarriages. So I don't see anybody being a butthole here until the last part.
yeah, that's when I was like,
That part where you're like, well, I don't think I could stay with him if he takes care of our daughter.
yeah,
Hold
but
up.
she just contradicted
up.
everything she said.
hold
But
on.
it's because
Hold
it's
on,
all
hold on,
because of that
everybody.
religious
But
thinking
if
that
she's
has
in the
been
if she's in the religion, I think she's in.
Catholicism.
Yes, Catholics. I'll just say it that way because I can't never say
Yeah.
Catholics do not believe in divorce. But she's contemplating one, and then she's gonna turn around and tell her daughter it's wrong to get an abortion. Hey, hypocrite!
I agree.
Why don't
Just like
you?
no big sin, no little sin, but all of a sudden you got a whole ranking system going on here.
She's gonna divorce her husband. You can't. No, I mean, if she was Baptist, okay, maybe. But I'm just saying.
We're a little more understanding.
Yeah, we be like, yeah, we see where you coming from. But I'm like, wait a minute, did she just say she's gonna leave her husband, but yet she's gonna tell her daughter is wrong to get an abortion? How does that conversation? I can't stay with you because you took our daughter to get an abortion, even though divorce is wrong in our religion. Oh, okay.
How can I show up at church? People will be judging me. Look, straight up.
That's the man.
I'm always gonna choose my child over
Right
anything else.
there.
So
Right there, theist. Say less. Because I'm not even going to sit here and say that religion, to some extent, does not play a part in this.
well, she cited religion.
But the second part always is, how am I going to look in the church when I show up and people
why would
find
I
out and
care?
blah, 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 and all this other stuff?
And church should be the house of forgiveness, right? I mean, we all broken.
That's
in
what
That's what I thought.
Come
You
to
know?
me. Come to me as you are.
But the thing is, this is the
That
problem.
is
This
not
the
in the
problem with
Bible.
organized
I know,
religion.
but I just love that
I'm
song.
like, that is not in the Bible at
Right?
all.
But that's the problem I have with organized religion. It's not the faith, it's the religion.
No.
Everybody in there got a problem
Everybody.
because we're all human.
Yep.
But instead, what we like to do is we will punish you for apparent sin, but we're going to hide
We're gonna hide
our own
ours.
private sin unless you
Like
figure
I
it out.
said, if she was Baptist, we would understand. We would be
I don't know Baptist now. As soon as a little girl get pregnant, what they do? They make her come up to the front.
Nah,
of the, some
that was
churches.
back in the old day. That
Come
was
to the
old
front of the
school
church and
church.
apologize, and then she
New
got to
school
sit
church
down
is
from
throwing
all
her
her
a
assignments.
shower. They gonna dedicate the child because you know they ain't gonna baptize the child. They gonna dedicate the Nah, that's old school. That's when I was growing up.
No,
That does
they
not
don't
happen.
do that. What they do is they bring you up front, rewrite the birthday song, and stand there and dance with you, stepping side to side, singing the gospel birthday song, embarrassing you in front of the whole congregation. And I will be showing that video next week because I know you looking at me like, what the hell am I talking about?
I'm like, Marlon, don't go back to that church, Marlon.
No,
Marlon.
this is another Tracy special.
Oh.
But second part of the story.
In an update, my husband and my oldest daughter, Kara, drove my pregnant 20-year-old daughter, Lily, back to college while I was at work yesterday. They just informed me that Lily had a surgical abortion today, and it went safely, and she's now recovering. My precious first grandbaby was murdered. My other two daughters, who are younger, and my son, who's 12, found me sobbing. My 16-year-old daughter, Andy, said, "This is the best thing for Lily," while Emma, who's 14, said, "I don't think that I could have an abortion personally, but it was Lily's body and it's her choice, Mom. You need to get over it." I haven't spoken to my son about it. I am so devastated that I basically have 4 daughters convinced by the world that it's okay to have consensual, passionate hugging, and then murder the child they create just so they can stay at a certain college or because they don't want to get fat and covered in stretch marks. I'm horrified at how selfish my daughter has become, choosing baby murder over the temporary inconvenience of pregnancy, choosing an Ivy League school and killing her baby over finishing college in Arizona and giving life to the child that she made through consensual, passionate hugging. I'm heartbroken, and my husband aided and abetted her. I've never wanted to be a divorcee, but I don't think that I can stay in the relationship. And Andy and Emma have told me that they want to live with Dad if I do get a divorce because I'm being so backward and controlling. Please keep praying. I feel so lost. I feel like Jesus and the Virgin have forsaken me.
Man.
Oh, can I? Oh, no.
Man. Tracy, go ahead, man.
Nah.
What you got?
Nah.
There you go.
No. She'd have made about 15 mistakes in that one little statement of hers. People, you cannot control an adult. Let's just say that she thought abortion was a sin. Okay, that's you. If you don't like abortion, don't have one. That's the easiest answer. Your daughter is an adult. Yes, she was stupid and she didn't have protected sex. Got it, good, done. But when she got to Jesus and the Virgin, girl, what? You need to re-examine that whole thing. You need to go back and get your foundation right. Cause in it, nah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
We won't have time for it this week, Parker.
I think I made a comment on it if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I think I said I agree with Tracy if I remember correctly.
About the lady who she's dying, so can I borrow your baby?
Yeah, because I said something about like get her a puppy. And I wasn't trying to be flippant. I was saying just basically from the standpoint of given the overarching situation, you know, it's not the same. It's not. But something that loves you unconditionally and, you know, it has lower upkeep than an infant while you're in a weakened and fragile state. Yeah. But this thing right here, though, it just sounds like your typical super religious mom and, you know, daughter is doing something that she doesn't agree with. And I mean, abortion's a big thing. It is. I mean, we can try to play it off like it's her body, her choice, leave it alone. But life ain't that simple. And yeah, she's 20, but my daughter's 22. That's still my baby. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but.
And that was her grandchild. You know?
Well,
Gotta give that to
yeah,
her.
yeah. According
Yeah.
to her belief system,
And
that's her
according to her
grandchild.
Yes,
belief.
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes.
But unless her daughter was like 7 months pregnant, um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
It's just
was.
at that child
But
at that point the child doesn't have a heartbeat. I don't think.
well, see, that's a whole nother side of the discussion, right? Like I think
Yeah.
that people get themselves twisted up in knots, being really absolutist or trying to nitpick something. And I think the fairest way to look at it, and I know I'm a dude and it doesn't really, rest in my wheelhouse, but I still can have an opinion because I'm a father, right? Um, Viability is the fairest standard that you can kind of work with. If the baby's not viable, then it's not a baby yet. It's a fetus. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever,
She
wherever you
need
fall in the spectrum, that's cool.
she
I
need
just,
help. That
yeah, I think
judgmental mama, she needs to go to her priest or rabbi or whatever it is they
her
call it.
priest gonna say the same thing. Where you think she
Yeah.
got it from?
You think she got that?
Oh boy,
Where
yeah.
you be? Where
Catholics are
and never
real. They
Nah,
reveal?
real for
not
a lot
every
of Catholics
Catholic
are
priest.
like real on that,
Unless
especially
I just don't.
Latinos.
Oh yeah, that's right. She needs to go to a
Right.
therapist
Well,
because
she will. She
she
will need
got.
to go see somebody when her husband's like, "Yo, I'm out."
And then what if she goes to a priest? I'm divorcing him because he took my daughter to have an abortion. Where's that in the Bible? Did he cheat on you? Nope. Oh well, then you stuck.
Well, according to the Bible, the
I'm
woman
just mad
can't.
at
The woman can't divorce the man. No way. Only the man can divorce the woman.
I'm
But
just mad at the fact that this woman has purposely throughout that second story to make sure you understand that what she did was murder, that what she did was killing, that murder, murder, and
That's her
then the
belief
word
system.
killing one more time.
But that's her belief system,
that's
and
her
technically,
belief
she's not
system.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's one thing that's really important in the whole discussion. Like we got to stop looking at the other side like they just bone ass crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
But I think
a
that girl's that.
pregnancy,
Yep.
They
if it
believe
follows its
differently.
logical course, ends up with the baby. Okay,
But
so
she didn't
you
want.
are the host of a new life, right? So technically, they can say that it's murder and not be wrong. But what happens is we don't like how it feels to be told that it's murder. So we fight against the word murder. When what we gotta fight, in my opinion, we gotta stay more focused on is what are the rights of the mother? And is
Exactly.
the pregnancy viable? Like those are the two things for me to kind of get at. But I'm just one opinion.
When the
So.
little girl told her, "Mommy, you need to get over it," I was like, "Girl, you better tell her that again. Tell her that one more time." Sometimes children say the wisest thing, like tell her one more time because she ain't
But what did
listening.
mama hear? The world has corrupted my children.
Yep, of
Yep.
course.
So she
Y'all
about to
hold
make a
that
phone
thought.
call for an exorcism.
Y'all hold that thought, cause
When everybody else in the family has, an opinion, and
Anna,
yours is
Anna,
the.
Anna, even hold that thought,
Mm-hmm.
cause you're on a right track. Yes, woo, woo.
Forsaken me. Then, about 6 months later, OP posted an update. My relationship with my husband has been strained ever since then, and he started talking about divorce because I'm an unsupportive mother. My 2 oldest daughters have become huge pro-abortion activists since the fall of Roe. My daughter, who had the abortion, went to this huge protest in New York City with a sign that said, "My abortion was the best choice I've ever made." She posted it on Instagram. She wrote in the comments that she was 20, still in college, and newly single, and her life would have been over if she was forced to have a baby. She made no mention of the fact in that post that she willingly took the risk of making that person. I replied to her post listing all the help that I offered her because she was painting herself like her life would be over and she'd be living in a box with no money to feed her baby if she had it. She deleted my comment and told me, "Watch it or I'll block you from my social media." I've been told that both her and my oldest daughter have been making disgusting pro-Roe TikToks. I barred my youngest daughters from looking at their social media, but my husband overruled me. I'm trying to raise my children in the faith like we pledged to on our wedding day, but he doesn't care. All 4 of my daughters are pro-choice. I don't understand where I went so very wrong raising them. I did everything I could to teach them the value of life, faith, and family. I asked my daughter who aborted how she would explain this content to her kids in the future. And she rolled her eyes and said that she never wants kids because she'd rather travel, have a career, and make money. And kids are annoying and she doesn't want to end up like me. Which broke my heart because I've dedicated my life to being a good Catholic and a good mother and doing the right things. And my kids are abandoning our family values.
I actually feel a little bit for her.
I
I
kind of
do
feel
too.
sorry.
I don't.
Because you ain't got to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You,
She didn't have to say watch it. You don't tell your mama watch it.
well, that part is
Yeah.
cool because it's your social media. But it's just a matter of
Watch it. You gonna say watch it to your mom?
my mama? No.
Yeah, I'm asking you what you say.
There's only one
My
response.
mama's
from
been
my mama,
gone
and she's
almost
a sweetheart,
19
but it still
years,
be yes,
and
ma'am.
I wouldn't even think of it. I wouldn't even say yeah. She been gone 18 years. I'm like, nope. Mm-mm.
But
The
no,
deal. This is the deal with this mom. This is why, yeah, I don't feel sorry for her because of that
Okay.
last statement that she made. I worked hard to be a good Catholic and a good mother.
yes. What's wrong
You
with
put
that?
your
Doesn't-
religion before
A
raising
good
your
Catholic came first.
Your
Yeah,
Catholic, your
But your
religion came
relationship
first
with
before
God
you
should
decide to be
always
a
come
good mother.
first.
That's what I'm saying. Like it depends
Your
on who you are.
relationship
Like for
with
me,
God should always
Eric-
come first.
everybody got their order, right?
I understood that, and that's why I even said she didn't say a woman of God or
But
even a
it's in-
woman of
it's in-
Jesus, which
it's-
I
it's
understand that
implied.
God comes first in the family. She said Catholic,
It's
the
implied.
religion.
That's what she means.
Yeah, that's what she means.
Okay,
She
That's
may
what she
not
means.
expressly said it, but yeah, your relationship to God, that's paramount.
that
But that's for some people though, Tracy. Like for
That-
example, for me,
Tracy,
if you
Tracy,
ask
Not
me,
for
like
everybody.
I say
you're
that
making the religion seem that it's God. I know you put God first. Every religion, I don't think she's saying she's putting God first.
You're
I
saying
think
She
she's
didn't
putting
say I
Catholic
will be a
first.
Christian. I try to be a good Christian. She said Catholic.
which is the same as saying I'm trying to be a good Christian.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm interpreting it to be
Really?
the same.
It's the exact same thing.
I-
Yeah.
I don't see it that way at all.
Yeah. If you say I'm trying to be a good Christian, it's the equivalent to saying I'm trying to be a good Catholic, I'm trying to be a good Muslim, I'm trying to be a good Buddhist. It's the exact same
I
thing.
don't think
It's
you're gonna be a
Oh,
Christian being a good Muslim, but okay.
huh?
I don't think you're gonna be a good Christian being a Muslim, but
No, I'm
I
saying
get what you're
whatever
saying.
your
He's
faith
equating the
is
same-
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
messing with you, dang.
Oh no, I didn't pick up on it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But yeah, I think when she was saying that, because I think her whole pressure with this abortion issue is about how it would rest with God. Like everything within her is filtered through that. And from what I've learned of people who are Catholic, the guilt system is real strong. So yeah. So I think people have their different orders. Like people wouldn't agree with me with my order. Like when people are going through things like a heavy divorce or something like that, the advice I usually give to a brother is, hey, you got to make sure that you don't lose you. You are the most important thing, period, point blank. And then after that, you start adding in.
Parker.
Now, to a Christian, they'll say that God first, right? But because of what happened and how I went through my divorce when I was younger and all the things that I'm not going to waste your time with all that, but so long as I don't lose me, it doesn't matter if I turn away from God, I can turn away from my family, I can turn away from my friends, I can turn away from any and everything. But if I don't lose myself, I can go back to God. I can go and rebuild those relationships with my friends and family. But if I lose myself, there's nothing left to reattach to, right? That's just how I view it. But to another person, they will say, no, God first. And the reason why I disagree with them is because when I was going through it, and I personally turned away from everything I believed in with God, God never let go of me. So I could still feel God working on my behalf, even when I didn't want to have anything to do with him. Right. So that's why it's the order that I use. But I'm saying it's her faith tells her something different.
But she done went 2 steps, and maybe because I didn't grow up Catholic, I have no idea. What I know about the Catholic faith, you can literally take one of them little itty bitty stickies, rip it in half. That's just about what I know. I ain't never heard of no priest, preacher, bishop giving. Yeah, divorce him because he took your daughter. Yep, to get an abortion. That's a good reason. Yes, divorce him. Go ahead, do it.
Well, the conversation probably wouldn't flow quite that way. But yeah.
My dad
What
had
up,
to get
Mickey's got a good
annulment in the
comment.
Catholic.
Yeah, Mickey's got a good comment here, and I didn't even think
I'm gonna go back to it, but Tracy, not true.
What do you mean not true?
Update.
What?
My family has been ripped apart as they've abandoned our faith and values. Now my husband wants to divorce me. I reminded him that we're Catholic and don't do that, but still he wants to proceed. I'm so lost. Please pray for me.
You were gonna leave him, and now he wants to leave you.
He done beat you. Nah, girl, you was gonna leave him. He doing you a favor. Girl, live your best life.
But so there we go. That's why I said I'm starting to feel for her, because she is really going through this.
What she needs to do is she needs to join QAnon, find her a man, and then
It's not. No, it's not.
Nothing is worth that.
She is teetering on QAnon.
She is
There is nothing in her faith that was
indoctrinated.
QAnon.
She is indoctrinated in her faith, the same way that an argument could be made for me with mine and you with yours. So she is really set adrift right now because all the things that she loves and believes are now in conflict with each other. So people, when they're in an emotionally charged situation, they make decisions or they say things that they hadn't thought through. So when she was saying, I feel like I might have to leave him based off of where all this stuff was going, she never said that I picked up that she said that to him. So when he says it back to her, it's real now. See, before she's just trying to negotiate her grief and her confusion. So these are the things going on in her head. But then when it's like when you threaten to leave somebody and they do something like I would do and be like, okay.
Yep, let her door go. See you.
That's it's rough.
Yeah, she got it.
So
that's why I was holding off on this, Tracy, because I knew the point that she was making. But this does make a good point, was that she thought about divorce. She didn't. It doesn't sound like she flat out told him. Now, at the same time, it does sound like.
Oh, wait. Yes, she did. If she didn't say it to him, she did say it to the kids.
She said it to the
say,
kids.
If you leave, I'm going with daddy.
With daddy, yep. She did say
That's
to the
right.
kids.
That's
So you know
right.
them kids. You know them kids went right back, daddy. Guess what Mama said?
They probably didn't do that, but she probably said it to him.
But
guess what Daddy said? That's what Mama
I'm not
said.
sure if I could stay with you. It's a bit different than I want a divorce.
I'm with you, Mickey, though. Yeah, but I mean, it's just. I mean, I try to be human about this, you know. In my view, biased view, hard-hearted view, all people who that I've met that adhere to any particular religion are a bunch of hypocrites. So it's human. Like, we pick and we choose. That's what we do. And
that's not a Catholic thing, by the way.
That's human. That's
that we
pick the religion, pick the faith, pick the organization, pick the affiliation,
political party,
political parties.
Boy,
we do trade-offs all day long.
You know, I actually think I remember. I actually think I remember a young woman that held up the sign that said my abortion was the best choice I ever made, something like that. I think I saw her.
Was she 20? Listen,
She was quite young.
Did she go to the Ivy League school?
yeah.
Did she hold up her ID right beside the?
I
I'm
just
asking.
remember
Anna said she remembered a young girl. I'm like, well,
a Latina woman
was they from Mexico?
that
Stop
held up.
What? She said they was from Mexico.
No, she said they were. Did she say Mexican?
She said
Yes.
she was. They said they was Mexican.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry, Tracy. Go ahead.
Thank you.
They was Mexican, not from Mexico. They could have been born.
They could have been born in the United States, but they still have Mexican heritage. Just like I'm not from Africa, but I have African heritage.
We're going way too deep with this.
And y'all know what y'all need to do is drink Wilkins coffee. That's what y'all need to do.
Or else.
Yeah.
We know we can always go to Walmart and get it. Go ahead and ask your boy. Pretty sure he knows it's there or not.
No,
What shift he work?
I don't think they let the cart pushers in the aisle.
He can sneak in. He snuck to do an interview. I'm pretty sure
Now,
he can sneak
personally,
down the
I
aisle
don't
to check the
think-
coffee.
Now, yes, I did coin the name Cartman, but to be fair, I don't think that's what it is. I think he kind of gives me more of a construction or maybe an Amazon kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
So he moves the barrels.
I mean, something, they got the safety vest going on,
Yeah.
you know, and Buddy looked like, he was in decent shape, so.
All right. Well, that is our first hour.
Thank you.
We're going to say goodbye to Anna because this is
Anna, we done.
Anna is done.
Like I'm done with y'all. We sorry, Anna.
We sorry, Anna. But we'll be doing this again next week.
Why
so.
y'all talking for Anna? Anna, how you doing?
Anna, excuse me, we already talked. Not my fault that you're late.
I know what you're talking about.
Thank you. We will see you on the other end. So for a 3-minute break to reboot, refresh, and we will see you on the other side.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally. I 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 always say dreaming, never imagine I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground, I'm rising. I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally. I wanna
her back. Anna is still here, so I don't know what to do. So
Respect her wishes.
what did you say?
I said respect
I
her
said-
wishes.
You.
Hey, Anna.
What you
Hi.
say, Anna?
I said, put me back on.
Okay.
I did say that I might go after the first hour. I would see how my energy and health was doing.
Trooper.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and pay these bills because somebody had to come in and mess up our flow.
Give me the correct web address.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the extended
extended
version.
No,
Yeah.
that's the correct version.
It's the correct version, but it's still 50 miles long.
The real official hot shot website of the month, of the year, of the century. Run them numbers,
The
Mr. Marlin.
MVP, the VIP,
The BBD.
Please do not forget to go to
OB.
patreon.com, a Better Tracy media page. Help support God, that don't even flow. Help support Tracy in all of her causes. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/complex mind. Help support Thea's in all of his endeavors. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/radical truth to power. Exactly the way it's spelled. Capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, Borelli, etc. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if there's anything that you would like to send me, a message, a video of any kind, you can send it to radtp@outlook.com. That's radtp@outlook.com. All right, let's just get this crap over with. So, earlier last week, all the Main Mafia got into a little discussion with Thea's about blonde hair and blah, 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 and everything else. And as we always do, it gets heated. Because that's how family is. We get into heated discussions. But so that I heard the last portion of what Thea's was saying, and he was making a good point about not getting so much into the relationship with it. You know, there are things that they're going to do that you know you're not going to be able to live with, so you might as well cut it short.
Yes, I think you finally heard what you were saying.
So here you
the
go.
fact he gets close, I'm happy. I'm just
That's about as close as I'm gonna get, buddy. It's about as close as I'm gonna get. Here is proof that Thea's may slightly, somewhat, a little bit, kinda be right.
After a year of
Oh, by the way, Anna is one of those videos that's moving, so you may wanna.
Gotcha.
After a year of jealousy, controlling issues, and anger, mixed with drinking problems and red flags, I officially feel trapped in my relationship, and I genuinely don't know how to get out of it. Let me preface by saying I did not want to make this post, but as a 28-year-old male with parents and friends who have an emotional intelligence of children and avoid tough conversations like the plague, I really don't have anyone to go to for advice. I'm hoping someone can talk some sense into me. I love my girlfriend, who's 23 years old. But I believe I may have ignored too many red flags when I first met her a year ago. When I first met her, she had problems with drinking and stuff going up her nose, if you know what I mean. And while I was recovering from severe depression and had just lost a good amount of weight trying to get my life back together after recovering from a previous heartbreaking breakup 2 years before, we ended up falling for each other hard. My girlfriend has always been very nurturing and there for me 100%, but she can get very scary when she drinks, or if any any other female is in proximity of me, she becomes a whole other person. And maybe that's because she feels attached to me in some kind of way, because I got her out of doing illegal substances. And I feel like I got her on a good path. Her mom thanks me all the time for being a better influence in her life. And what I mean by she becomes a whole different person is that she will start to get very mean and very nasty to me after drinking. And she will make up lies, get very abusive, and sometimes hits me repeatedly. She will cause a public scene, and cops have gotten involved in the past. Later on, she will only apologize to me for the outburst when she is sober. I have forgiven her many times for these outbursts, but I don't think I'll ever forgive her for hitting me. I am a lot bigger than her. I'm 6'1" and I weigh 205 pounds, while she is 5'1" and 125 pounds. So she's not doing a lot of physical damage, but I think I feel more attacked emotionally when she does this. The other issue is the jealousy and the controlling nature. Whenever a female looks my way or talks to me in any type of matter, she loses it in seconds and makes me feel horrible. I cannot coexist with women in the world. I have never cheated or given her any reason to be this way with me. The other night, we were hanging out with her roommate that I also live with. We were at the pool drinking, and she saw her roommate talking to me and looking at me. My girlfriend had an outburst and ended up saying a bunch of nasty things to me and called her family to come over, basically causing a big scene about it. I ended up Ubering my parents to get away from her and to give her time to sober up. My mom and sister were aware of what happened and apologized to me, but I didn't forgive her because I had to wake my parents up at 2 a.m. just to have a place to crash, and it was embarrassing. This has all been a constant theme that happens every few months. As another note, I've poured so much into this relationship, and I really do care about her. We even have a successful business that we started that is our only source of income. I find myself losing interest in her and thinking about what it would be like to be with another woman, and this happens more and more after every outbreak and controlling issue that happens. I'm sorry if that sounds horrible, but it's the truth. She brings on a lot of stress in my life, but at the same time, I feel I can't escape her because she won't let me break up with her and will follow me and not give me space. I'm really not sure what to do in this situation.
This, the floor is yours.
I do not envy you this situation, my brother. You have attached yourself to someone, and there you go. So what you can do now is find a way to either dissolve the business or have her buy you out and then dip. But if she's like you described it, she ain't gonna really want to do that. So you may end up walking away with nothing and having to either sue her or leave it alone. But that's where you at, dude. Should have known better when you got with a girl who's doing the nose candy.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I got it. I was saying somebody help me out with the understanding of why he said he can't leave. And did I just miss it?
Well, that's happened
He
a
can't
lot
leave
of
because
times.
they only have one source of income, and it's a business that they started together. So if he leaves, what does he do with his business?
Oh.
So his business is what's keeping him in this relationship.
Well, I mean, he probably has attachment to her too. I mean, he probably loves the girl, but being able to leave, the fact that he's at the point where he's about ready to leave, what's he supposed to do? How does he eat? What does he do? That part's kind of messed up.
This happens all the time in relationships that have domestic abuse in them. One person feels they can't leave because there's a financial part that keeps them together. I say here, I like your girl here. The business is yours. Walk away. Start you. If you can start one successful business, you can start another one. This ain't worth it. Because if you hit her, you surely going to jail. I don't know why
married. They're not married.
No, they just date.
I don't know why he didn't have arrested and pressed charges. That's probably what I would have did. But nah, he being, it happens.
I'll tell you why he didn't. He's 6'1" and he's 6'2" and she's 5'1". So you call the police, and the police show up at your house or apartment, and you say, officer, I need to press charges because she struck me repeatedly.
But if he hits her and she calls the police, everybody could be okay. That was good of you.
Oh no, I agree, but
Tracy,
that's not
the fair
that's a
world,
double standard.
you're right. In the
it
fair
is a double
world,
standard, but the world is full of double standards.
But
And
that's a double standard that's never. And
this is
I'm
a double
sorry
standard
to say, that's never
I
going
kind
to
of
change.
support.
That's never going to change.
When it plays out, it's bad. But
yeah, but he's supposed to just let her keep hitting him.
And the funny thing, and here's the deal. Let me put this in here. Here's the deal. We're harping on the fact that he's 6'1". We don't even have to go with his height and all this other stuff. We just go by the fact that he's a man.
Well, yes, but if they were both about the same size, it does affect sometimes how the police engage, because the gender part is always there. But this is a severe difference in size. So
maybe
no one's going to
need
even take him seriously. Like the moment they show up because he said that she hit him, immediately, and I would be wondering, and I know it's wrong, but I would be wondering, what was the situation that got you here, sir? Right? Where's the rest of the story, sir? Right? Because obviously this little thing ain't no threat to you unless you had a weapon. So that is the situation that he would find himself in. So he would be reluctant to call the police. And then that also amps up the crazy. Like, you think she's a little out right now, call the police on her. Mm-hmm. So after the police don't do nothing for you, now you still left with this woman that you just called the police on. So that part's a no-win. He has to leave the relationship.
He has to leave. But I'm like, he supposed to just let her keep hitting him? Like, nah.
No, he's supposed to leave. And that's what I tell young people.
They're in a business contract, though.
Yeah,
but
that's
just it.
Sell the business.
A lot of times,
sell your portion of business to her. Just sell it to her. Like, here, go, take it.
But that's if people actually do what they're supposed to do. Like, if you start a business with someone, you're supposed to build out a business plan. And in that business plan, it tells you how we dissolve the business if one of us decides to leave it, right?
Yes.
No one does that other than professionals. Everyone else, they do it just like they do their marriages. I love you, you love me, we're going to do this thing together, and we're going to build this wonderful thing. And that's great till it goes bad. So now here it is going bad. What is your exit strategy? He doesn't have one, because he's probably like most people in that there is no business plan. At least if there is, it doesn't take care of this part. So he has nothing, or he either has to stay so he can keep eating, or just walk away from something that he's put his love and his blood, sweat, and tears into. So it's a jacked up situation, and she holds all the cards.
This is just wrong. She needs to be.
Did you see the story about the tiny little blonde-haired, blue-eyed social media model who murdered her big black boyfriend, and initially they didn't want to arrest her? Yeah, I remember the story.
I don't remember the story, but I'm not surprised by it.
I remember the story. It's exactly what Mickey said. That she told the police she shot the boyfriend point blank, or from a short distance, and told the police that she was abused for X amount of times, and this was the last time. And something happens that triggered them to investigate. So let's make that perfectly clear. That it wasn't they was investigating and they found the truth.
Right.
Something happened, and I can't remember what it was, but something happened that triggered the investigation.
Mickey told you the next thing, and she actually stabbed him.
Yeah, she probably slipped up somehow. But the thing is, white women don't go to jail. Like, if you run the numbers,
there you go.
You run the numbers, white women don't go to jail. Now, there are white women in jail.
I thought he was shot. Sorry.
No, she stabbed him.
No, okay. I mean, there are white women in jail, but proportional to the crimes that they commit, white women don't go to jail. So you got that situation too.
Well, sexism is going to destroy our society. This shouldn't even be.
Man, sexism is secondary, man. Look, sexism is what affects your ability for economic independence, right?
Yes,
that's what sexism does.
Yeah.
The color line is what will always cripple this country. The arbitrary level of pigmentation in your skin will always be with
He
those things
should
off.
clearly have a restraining order on her. He should clearly break up with her.
But it
He
still go.
should,
But
but
it's
then what
still.
happens to his
But that
business?
statement will still go back to what Theus was saying was that still is not an exit strategy. Okay, you got a restraining order against her. We got a
How are
business
you
together.
gonna
So you're telling
leave?
me I can't come to my own business to work my business that we have? It still ends the exact same way. And that's
I
if she
should
even.
say sell her his portion of the business. If you started one successful business, you can start another.
Well, at the end of the day, that's kind of what he's going to be stuck with. Not her selling, not her buying his part of the business. At the end of the day, what he's probably going to be stuck with is nothing. Okay,
And
which is
sometimes having nothing is better than having her hit him.
well, okay. So I'm gonna qualify that just a little bit.
Yeah,
If we
and before
reverse
you
the
finish this,
roles,
and before you finish, I want to also go back to just buying them out and start another business. But
no, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
just do your thing, man.
No, mine is quick. It's just that Tracy, we don't know what the dynamic of that business is. We don't know if she is the reason why it's successful and he plays a small part of the business and whatever. She could be the brains, he could be the bronze. So it's kind of hard without more content to go just dissolve the company and you can start all over again when that may not be his niche to start something over again and or be successful in it. It's just not if you did it once you could do it again because we don't know what his
He may have only been doing
role in
half
the
of the.
business is. Yeah. Okay, sorry, Theo. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just saying, it's we flip the roles per se, and we would be basically telling the woman, drop everything you have because your life is more important than any tangible things that you've been accumulating, right? And that's easy to say,
Yeah.
but it's really hard to do because no one's going to help you. Now, there are things that would help a woman a little bit, but it's not adequate to the need. Guys ain't no help for you, dudes. Yeah, you're gonna be under the bridge. But it's easy to say it, but it's harder to do it. Because this is still your lifeline. This is how you make money. Now, granted, in his case, he could tuck his tail between his legs and go to his parents' house and rebound hard, kind of like you do if you go through a divorce unexpectedly, right? Nobody wants to go home, but sometimes that's what you end up having to do. And that may be where he ends up. But in the meantime, like it's pretty much it's a jacked up situation, right? Because
really
nobody's
is.
going to have any compassion for you because she's 5'1". Okay.
And that's the part that I think is making me the maddest. I'm like,
Well, let me push back just one more thing, is I don't think people are going to have a compassion for it because it's been going on for so freaking long.
Well, I don't know.
Even when because even if you say at this point, and I hope I'm wrong. Please, I really hope, but I've seen it so many times. Is when people always say this is the final straw, and it's not. This is the final straw, and it's not. This is
But
it.
those
This
are
is the
people
final
who
straw,
have
and it's not.
no.
It's like.
But those people who have no real understanding of what abuse is. If you understand abuse or addiction, then you know that there will be a lot of last times because it's not just a decision, it's a chemical reaction. And this is one of the reasons why I was saying you need to be careful who you allow yourself to be around because you can end up being in love with the wrong person.
sure can.
Right? The love is real.
Yeah, the original.
But you fell in love with the wrong person.
The original reason why I put this video up.
Right.
Man, right. You was right.
Yeah,
So once you're in it, the math changes. All the math changes.
I think Parker's got the better.
You was right. You was right.
Parker's got the best advice. Where he's.
It's all you're getting today, buddy. I'm telling you now.
What did Parker say?
Let me.
Hour 1, 20 minutes. All right.
Yeah, more of the story is don't start a business with your partner.
Not without a contract.
Not
Well,
with
exactly what
exactly.
you
Make
said
out your
is
business plan.
not without a business plan. That's
Plan.
it.
Yep. Because
Mm-hmm.
what if we get divorced?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
when
Yep.
someone has worked really hard to start a business, it's successful. It's not that easy to give it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
It's
agree.
because you
not.
go to because you remember it's successful now.
But it's part of your
You
identity.
don't want to go through that whole what you had to go through and start over
Mm-hmm.
from scratch.
No, I mean
But
it's part of
this
your identity.
man
That's
is in
why.
a no
Yeah.
win position. No, he's not winning either way. He leaves her. He's weak. He calls the police. They're gonna it's like.
Mm-hmm.
What do we tell abused men?
I
We
don't.
literally are telling abused men,
Oh,
well,
I'll tell you what we tell abused men. Nothing. We ignore them. We pretend like they don't exist. It's kind of like the foster care system with all the abused children. We just pretend it doesn't exist.
I don't like that. If he's weak.
no, I'm saying that's how he's going to be perceived.
Oh, okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know.
I
I
apologize.
think that has evolved over time, Tracy, where like your boys aren't going to be like you a week because you left her because she was hitting you. Your boys are going to be like,
Yeah, you
all
should
right,
have hit her
dog.
back.
No,
You
we ain't
better
gonna
than
say
me.
that. Not most of us. Now these young cats nowadays, they will fight a woman, but that's because you got a lot of women that think they should go fight a man. I'm like this on this particular tip. Keep your hands to yourself,
Pretty much.
Yeah, nobody
right?
should be hitting anybody. Let's just all agree to that.
Because
Nobody should be
My
hitting
mom,
anybody.
my mom has told me from 6 and every year after that. So I'm not even joking because I have no idea why she would every school year. Never happened, but every school year, you are not to lay your hands on any woman. And forgive me, this is the 70s and 80s, so words have changed to protect the innocent. You are not to put your hands on a woman for any reason out of anger. Okay. At the same time, mama ain't raising no punk. So they got one time to get that one
Yeah,
lick.
nobody's saying don't defend
After
yourself.
that, you're going to have to do some things.
well, my messaging has always been very clear. This is what I tell my nephews. And then there's a slightly different, but it's pretty much the exact same message to my daughters: is keep your hands to yourself. Because
Yeah.
if a woman hits me, and I've been hit by women before,
Yeah.
um, I'm gonna walk away. If I can't walk away, I might even run away. Because see, I know the damage I'm capable of doing. I didn't put my hands on enough men that I know the type of damage I can do. Now, do you want to be the guy who ran away from a girl? No, but that's your ego. I would
Yeah.
rather you have a bruised ego than me have to come pick you up from downtown.
Yeah, because we
All
ain't
right?
giving you bail money on that. No. You're like,
Right?
no.
So if a woman gonna put her hands on you, that's not the type of woman you need to deal with. No way. And then if you chase me down, no.
Yeah, now she got
You
a weapon.
stupid.
That whole
But
conversation
the
changed.
only thing that will allow me in my worldview to put my hands on a woman in anger is she has to really be posing a physical threat to me. Right? Not just you hit me and it hurt. I'm talking about like if I don't react, I could be seriously injured. Right? But then you only act to the point to alleviate the issue. That's it. If you can grab her and toss her, then do that. But you don't fight no woman like she a man. But to the women, don't you fight a man like you a man. Don't do it. Because what I always say to y'all, you don't have any control over the reaction. So you gonna put your hands on the wrong dude.
And then you be like, he shouldn't have hit me. Well,
And
you
he ain't gonna
probably
be like
shouldn't.
me. He gonna beat the brakes off of you.
We only have control over
Ourselves. That's it.
right.
That's it.
Y'all stop
That's
putting
it.
your hands on people. Stop using your hands
Please.
and just stop
Of
hitting
course,
each
now
other.
we got an even worse problem where these guys can't handle getting their feelings hurt.
Yeah.
So they actually want to hurt or kill people. That is not okay. That's why it's like I don't know how women can even date nowadays, because some of these dudes got screws loose, right? But the dude who's gonna do you right, who's gonna treat you right, and all that stuff, oftentimes he doesn't have the swagger as the other dudes do. So you don't check for him like that. Right? He ain't quite cute enough, or he ain't quite cool enough, or he ain't quite this or that enough. So you don't want him right now.
Or the money not there.
Or the
Or
money's
the
not
money,
there.
sometimes the money is there, but he's just
Right, he's just not what you feeling. And that's
Yeah.
cool. You don't like what you don't
For the
like.
role for some women, I understand what you're saying, Tracy, that the money could eventually be there. So no. We have people, men and women. We have people who they want that money now.
Well, we also have a situation where I think in the pendulum swings, right? So we're dealing with a situation, in my view, where a lot of women are overreacting to the injustices that have been occurring over time. So they've seen their aunts and their mothers and their grandmothers, and they're like, ain't no way I'm putting up with all that. I ain't putting up with none of that. So don't come to me talking about your potential, what you gonna
Yeah,
do,
because potentially
right?
a damn bill.
And
It ain't
so they want like this finished product now, even though they themselves are a work in
ain't
process.
finished.
They want the finished thing, right?
Now,
It's
Now,
like
Kevin,
people are going
that
into
I can
and
go.
getting a really expensive house, and it's like, start with something simple that your budget can take.
Well, I think people need to get back to actually buying into potential. Because, see, part of the thing is, as a man, and I know this is antiquated, but I'm selling you my dream. I'm selling you what I'm after, what I'm going to be that's more than what you see of me right now today. But my actions should reinforce what this thing is that I'm selling to you, right? So that you can see where I'm going. And then if you can see yourself in where I'm going, then you can come along and help me be better than what I thought I could even be, right? I know that's an old model, but
No, I agree
the
with that.
alternative is
No,
you're
that's
going to go get this dude who's
wonderful.
already got the money. Well, I'm going to tell you, like me, if I already have the money
What I need you for?
and then you come into me, in my view, I'm just purchasing you. I'm renting you for a little while. So
Really?
that means as soon as a newer, fresher model comes along, I'm
Bye.
going to trade you out. Because I know you only here for the money. And then you might fall seriously in love with me and we might have really good connection and all that. But our beginning was tainted. So I'm still going to have this piece of me that's like, you here for the money. And that's when you end up with a lot of situations.
If you look at me and Foxy 20 years from now when we first started, and I'm just gonna make it because I don't want to give too much out or brag or however y'all say it. 20 years ago, as much as Tracy, the money, he got the money, you spent the money, but you got, yeah. If you saw 20 years ago when we lived in a house where we couldn't hang Christmas lights out on the porch because we didn't realize that the wood that was supposed to be framing the porch was hollow. So we was just banging into plywood, I guess, from this part on, all the way to up to what we have now.
I mean, look at the grand piano in the back.
And the full stage production crew.
I know.
I
Got money, buying new cameras and all, boy.
My point is, you want somebody who's going to go through it with you, who has that vision of moving forward. And I know that's hard to understand, who's the person who has the vision compared to people who have dreams. A vision to get to a certain point, to work hard, to dedicate to, we're not here now, but we will get there. That is the person you want to be with.
That is
I'm with Peter. So exactly what he said.
But people are impatient.
That is not today's woman. trust
But
implemented.
that's
I
why a
would
lot of
but I
today's
would
Today's
women are
still.
woman,
alone as hell.
she's
I,
got 3 kids. She want to marry a man that don't got no kids. She's got 3.
okay,
She
that's
she wants
cool.
to marry a man that's rich, that makes $100,000 a year. She only makes 30.
Tracy, I done got to this point
But
now.
here's the thing, though, on that, Tracy. One, I would say if you want what you want, that's what you want, right?
That's what you want.
Now make sure, are you the type of person that the person you want would want? And I think a lot of times people miss that piece of the equation. I want a
Don't
dude who makes
encourage
6
her.
figures,
Yeah, I
and
want 6 figures.
I
I
make
make 5.
25,000 working part time at the Walmart. That's not bad.
There's nothing
You
wrong
can
with
still
working at
get,
Walmart. You gotta have a job, but girl,
but I'm saying you can still get that dude, because a lot of times, and I know people sometimes, and I'm speaking in generalities, of course, but guys aren't coming to you more often than not. We're not coming to you for your money. Okay. Now, nowadays it has switched a little bit because women are making so much more money than the men are. But it's not about the money, though. It's like, how do you make me feel as a man with you? Right? It's how do you, because people talk about how emotional women are, but men are extremely emotional.
yeah.
Right? It's just a difference in how those emotions have to be
We
fed.
show it, yeah.
Right? So for me, I need to know that I can trust you. I need to know that my heart is safe with you. I need to know that when I'm having a misstep, or I'm breaking down, or I'm tired, or I'm lost, or whatever it is, that when I come to you, I don't feel like I failed you. Right? If I have those things, I will go out there and work every day and do the very best I can, even though you make $200,000 a year and I make $50,000 a year. All that 50 is yours, and I'm gonna do everything I can for you because you do what I need from me, right? But what a lot of people get twisted is they think it's all transactional. Well, if you just doing this transactional thing, that's not a relationship. That's a business partnership. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, for some people it works, but I think it's unfair when people come down on women for saying they want a dude who makes X amount of dollars.
I'm just saying, live up to the standards that you want. That's
I
like me
agree with you
saying,
there.
I want a fit man, and I'm sitting here 60 to 70 pounds overweight. Now, that ain't going to work no kind of way.
Well, it could, because a lot of times skinny dudes like big girls. So it's all about making sure you in the right market.
And
What I have found watching people is they keep digging around in the rummage bin where everybody else is digging, expecting to find that one great find. Your problem isn't that you want something nice. Your problem is you keep digging in the trash to get it. Like, you in the wrong place. Go where what you want exists, and raise your game up some. But nah, people instead, they all want to fight over the exact same kind of dude or the exact same kind of girl. They want the Instagram looking chick. Well, if you go on Instagram, at least in my view, you go on Instagram, there's like 5 women, 250,000 different people, but it's like 5 women. They all look the same.
Partner, this is what I'm going to say. It really depends at what age are you dating at, and how much you are considered money as a factor, and whether or not you decide to get into a relationship. Kind of.
No, that's
Maybe sort of.
It is a factor. So did you say factor? It is a factor. Okay.
What I would be looking
So
for
it is
a
a
woman at
factor.
45 is different than what I would be looking for at 25.
Yeah. But what I was going to push back on is, remember the story that we had where the girl was rich, and the boyfriend was just like, hey, how could I even fit in it? So even I can't even say your upbringing. The majority of the stories, and I don't want to use the majority of the stories that I read, because come on, let's face it, they're actionary stories to begin with. In a way, they're supposed to get a reaction, a emotion from you.
Tragic tales of kidnapping granny.
Let granny go.
No,
but
not till they put her in jail.
Some factors of how you some factors of your upbringing
Nothing
does
like that.
have a factor in your future relationship. If you're in a I ain't gonna say middle class, but upper middle class to rich, that does, regardless, does play a factor in, hey, you don't have to be like millionaire rich, but I am used to a certain level. Like, it is what it is. I can't move backwards compared to how I was brought up. That's not always the issue. There are some people who see that eventually I will get how I was brought up, the things
Or
that
they
I
just
was
need what
brought
they
up.
need.
Yeah. But there are some people who that's steadfast. I grew up in a big house with a pool in the back and everything else. I'm not saying that I'm rich, but I expect that when I marry you, we're going to have the exact same thing. So,
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Sorry, but I'm not sure the expression digging around in the trash bin.
But that's what they do, though.
I mean, it is. Okay, let me clean it up.
I'm
Maybe.
gonna let Theus take it because I know what he means exactly. I
But it's
know
like,
exactly what he
okay,
means.
so like there's the guy or the girl that everybody wants, right? She's got the look, he's got the look, he's got that, you know what I'm saying? Drives a nice car, where she's always got the nice clothes, killer body, all that stuff going on, right? And everybody's chasing that same person. And so they go around chasing these clones and wondering why, well, why do they always leave me? Why they always cheat on me? Why they always do this, that, or the third? So it's like you're going to the secondhand store trying to get what everybody already played with. So that's what I mean when I say you're in the rummage bin, right? Because you just you keep
So let me
playing with
give
other people's stuff, man.
let me paint you a picture of how I grew up. You always want the rich, successful, handsome, intelligent, thoughtful, kindness man
This is a comic book character.
for
What you
your
got?
love, for your life. So I'm gonna go to Big Bubba Ray's barbecue and club, so I can see if I can find me. That's like,
It's the woman who wants the gentleman thug, or the man who
Yeah.
wants the rocket scientist bimbo. You know, it's like, can you find those things? Yeah, yeah.
They dare, I
I
You can
want
suppose.
go
I want a
university all
lady in
you
the
want. They
streets
out there somewhere.
I want a
But
lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
let's move on.
Bro, I'm serious.
But people do say that, though.
I'm serious. Brought up on it. That's every man's. Not every man. That's not true. There have been men's things that they want their woman to be that pornography latent what you see only with them in their home.
But they can do whatever they want, have
But
any memory
not that. But when they're outside, they have to wear the beautiful clothes and sophistication and look great, and their vocabulary have to be impeccable, and they have the good job and the beautiful.
They have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, that's what
They
it
want to be
is.
married. They want to be married to Claire
They wanna-
Huxtable, but they want Claire Huxtable to turn into Megan Thee Stallion at night. You know what I'm saying?
There
And
you
it's
go.
like, now that once again, those people do exist, because if
they do.
you know what it is, but I don't know. People just have interesting expectations, I think, and
Yep, they want tomahawk steaks and want to pay baloney prices.
got that right. You know, so and I mean, I wish people the best, but it's like, I don't know. Another weird analogy, but I'm like, it's like being a hunter. That's how I look at being a dude, right? There's different levels to being a hunter, though, right? You could be an apex hunter, like a tiger, who literally scopes out what he wants, won't settle for anything less, doesn't want the sickly one, specifically narrows down which one in the herd is going to get, and then maps out a plan to get it, right? Will run past all the other to get the one that decided it wanted. And then you might have these little scavenger ass hyenas that, you know, if they can catch it, they'll catch it. But otherwise, they'll just wait and play with what everybody else is playing with. You got different levels to this game. So, but if you want to sit there and deal with these hyenas, well,
you can't get Bruce Wayne playing with jokers.
I don't know. Harley Quinn had a shot.
Harley Quinn was on Foxy's videos of the week. All right, truth be known, I grew up in a religious family, and I'm still in the midst of a religious family. My late aunt was a pastor. My uncle's still a pastor. My two cousins is a pastor. My father-in-law is a pastor. So I'm surrounded. And I always had a fear of something if these evangelicals don't shut their mouth, or people start talking and start calling out their BS, that something was going to happen. And this is what I didn't want to happen.
Watch this, and then come back to me. I have some thoughts.
The 5 people who were killed in the nightclub that night, there is no evidence at all that they were Christians. And so assuming that they were not, that they had not accepted the truth of the gospel of Christ and affirmed Jesus Christ as the Lord of their life, they are now reaping the consequences of having eternal damnation. And that is far, far greater. And we should be having that conversation instead of just the tragedy of what happened to the body. We need to be talking about what happened to the soul and the fact that they are now in eternal separation from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'm sorry, good Christian America. It's time to walk away from American Christianity. It's a time to separate yourself from what is a toxic cult in this country. When a Christian, Mormon, whatever, a person of some faith can take it upon themselves to murder innocent people, and then Trump's lawyer blames the innocent victims for not believing in God, it's time to walk away from your nonsense deity.
That's what I didn't want to happen, but that is happening.
Well, I mean, you always have those voices out there, bro.
You have people who quietly is just moving away from the church. And the funny thing about it is, the good or bad, however you want to take this is good or bad, they're not going to. It's sort of your analogy, Theas, of what you were saying about you don't know which snake is. You got thousands of snakes running towards you. You don't have time to try to figure out which snake is not poisonous. People don't got to the point now. They're not going to try to figure out which part of the religion is good, which part of religion is bad. They're just going to dump the whole thing.
Well, I'm over American Christianity altogether because it's just not. It is what it is. But for those who have the faith, who believe in it, then I mean, do your thing. But really, take a look at the circle you're running in. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that it would be fair to take this type of a nut job who probably reads the Patriot Bible and present her as representative of the larger American Christian audience, right? Like, I have issues with American Christians because I don't think, anyway, who cares what I think? But there's still levels. Like, we oftentimes say that there's levels to it, and we can't tar and feather everybody with that. Like, but what she was touching on is one of the things, like you were saying, Marlon, which even when I was a child, which is what one of the things that made me start questioning that whole Christianity thing. So you telling me that my creator of all things, all humanity, all mankind, allows all these religions to be out here. And then if you don't choose the right one, all the rest of y'all go to hell. You telling me that's that agape love that y'all trying to tell me about? Nah, partner. Y'all don't understand. Either you not worshiping the same God I'm thinking of, or you don't really understand God like you say you do, because that don't make sense. First of all, and I've said this once before, Jesus never told us to be Christians. So you could be sitting here talking about you a Christian and be tied to the wrong thing too. It's possible. Maybe you were supposed to be Jewish. I don't know. But I know that we don't know. So if the one who's going to sit in judgment is the one who's going to sit in judgment, leave it up to that one.
And I hear what you were saying about, or at least what Mickey was saying. There's always been people like that, but they are far more vocal now and have a much larger audience. And I get what you're saying, but people who I feel, my opinion, people who are stepping away from religion are not picking one person. Okay, this one person said this one statement, I'm done with religion. That one person said this other thing, so I'm stepping away. No, people
they're walking away from the hypocrisy.
Yeah, you people who are done with religion, you're pretty much just like, okay, that don't make any sense. Okay, I think you're going too far. Okay, well now then there is that straw camel's back. It's like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm done with it.
Now that doesn't make us right.
That doesn't make it right.
We could all be wrong.
But it's up to that individual of, like I've been saying about mental illness, how much can you take? How much can you handle? And it's the same thing. How much can you handle with this?
I'll tell you like this, man. This is one of my things, and then I'm gonna let it roll. But like, take a step back, especially for those of my people out there who are, church going folks. Take a step back. Don't just look at your church house, because you're supposed to be all one big brotherhood. So your church house, though, notice how good you treat each other that are in your congregation. And yet, notice some of the backbiting and the rumors and all that, the human stuff that still flows around in there. But just know to take it all in, all the complexities of that. And then pull back a little further and you say this is supposed to be like a Christian nation or whatnot. Well, what nation on this planet, first of all, God, I don't remember God or Jesus saying that we were supposed to establish a Christian nation anyway, but just find me one that's doing it right. And I know you can't. So it becomes this thing where I'm like, I don't know. It's very disheartening, because I found, and this is anecdotal because it's just me, but I found so much more love, so much more sacrifice, so much more compassion towards people walking all levels of life and all levels of issues outside the church than I ever found inside of it.
I have to agree with that.
And I had a great church. But I'm just saying, my church did a great job of taking care of it's church. But be you gay, addicted, or something like that, it wasn't always one of them things where we just take you in love. It was we love you, but now we want to, I don't know,
You
kind
can
of
say let's right. You can stop it right
yeah,
there. I love you, but
that thing.
yeah. I found myself in my spirituality is just reading the Bible and being closer to God. I just can't do the church. I just can't. It's gone. Will it ever come back? I don't know. I can't predict the future. But I got my Bible, I got my God, and I'm just gonna stick to that.
Well,
But
and I'm sorry, I don't. It's just going to be weird from all the things that I just said, but this is another part of what I do believe, though. The church, especially in the Black community, is still vitally important. Just because the people aren't doing it right doesn't mean it should be discarded. It should mean those who still have belief that it can be better, that it can be closer to what God would have it to be, they just need to be more active and engaged in showing a way of actual love as opposed to conditional love. And don't give up on the church if if that's where you're led to be, right? Because there's so many young people, so many old people, so many people in between that the church truly serves and helps, right? Every Thanksgiving, every Mother's Day, every major holiday, how many of our churches don't get any credit for how much they scrape and scrounge money together to feed people who are hungry, right? So it's like you can't throw it away. I can only explain why I walked away, but I still find a lot of value in it. I know that's kind of contradictory, but
I hear what you're saying.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Tracy?
I'm going to take the fifth on this.
Okay. All right, next video. I'm just gonna go into it. Y'all take it away.
Oh my god! You guys! So the White House... Oh my god! The White House put out an ad saying that we support the LGBTQIA community. And I kid you not, this guy tweeted this. They're really using this name? They're straight treats. Oh my god!
White Lives Matter, the queer community, that lets you know it ain't about whoever you are, it's about who they are.
Straight treats? I don't even know how to pronounce that.
I didn't even know until he said it because I was looking at it like, what is he saying?
But think about it. We've been here. I never heard straight treats before, but I have heard the sentiment.
Yeah,
right.
we exist
Every
too.
time somebody talks about the gay agenda, that's what they're saying.
Like they hold rallies or something recruiting people. We're having a recruitment meeting.
Sign up here.
Yeah, what?
But that's what they're talking about. When they're talking about the gay agenda, they're talking about that. When they say the Black agenda or Black Lives Matter, that's what they're talking about. Anything that is not them. It's okay. There's a dude named Tim White, if you've ever listened to him speak. And he was like, one of the perks, he was talking about the black-white situation. So like one of the things about being white is you get to just call your stuff history. Right? If you're Black, it's African American history. If you're Aztec, it's Aztec history. Right? If it's it has to be rap music or whatever. There's always these little signifiers or things. But if you're white, you just get to have history. Or if you're white, you get to have classical music. Why is your music the only one classical? Right? To be white in America is to be normative. And what we've layered onto it is being white, cisgendered, Christian. You get to be normative. So anything else, something wrong with you. And now they are so desperate to be persecuted and oppressed that they just try to play victim.
And nobody believes them except them.
But it's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Oh well, not really.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot vocal.
No, there's a lot of them.
I think there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
I don't think there's a lot of them.
I do.
No, I don't. I just think they're very vocal. Now, if you
Y'all
talk about
know
the
what
ones
y'all
who
both
got,
need to do?
You ever
y'all
looked at our
both need
you
to
looked at
drink
our laws?
Wilkins coffee.
You looked at our
Drink
laws.
Wilkins coffee.
How the laws are implemented and affected across the
Wait a minute,
country,
Thea,
across
hold on,
different
Thea.
demographic groups.
Thea,
There's a lot of them.
What the hell did Wilson Coffee got to do with
I don't
any of
know.
this?
I'm just gonna tell you how to keep drinking Wilkins coffee.
Or else.
Yeah, that literally should be the commercial. All right, final video of the night. I have my thoughts about this, but it ain't nowhere what y'all think I'm thinking, so I know that.
The same people that are proud that Disney made Ariel a black woman with dreads are the exact same people who threw a temper tantrum until every single person of color was removed off of popular home name brands. The hypocrisy of this is officially mind-dumbing.
I stopped engaging with topics and conversations like this, but I need you guys to help me figure something out. Are people genuinely this incompetent, or are they being intentionally obtuse to support their own ideas and beliefs, not caring about the fact that the logic they're using to support their ideas and beliefs is flawed, is non-analogous, has no validity? There is a blatant and objective difference between wanting to see black people positively represented in media and on products, and not wanting caricatures, mockeries of black people in media and on products. Those are literally not the same thing. That is not hypocritical or mind-numbing in any capacity. Now, it's obvious that videos and takes like that are designed to appeal to a niche percentage of conservatives. I say niche to protect my own sanity. I am choosing to believe that the majority of them wouldn't think that video was a good point. But please tell me, are people like that creator truly that stupid? Or are they disregarding logic intentionally for the sake of their own point?
I was distracted by her eyebrows.
She's so beautiful. Her hair.
Her hair was pretty.
I mean, she's
Really?
beautiful.
But
her
she sounded
eyebrows-
like a recording. I'm like,
Her
girl,
eyebrows were distracting.
pause.
There was a lot of eyebrow. There was a lot of eyebrow.
It was just one thing that was flowing through my head when I was seeing this video. And yeah, everybody said what they said. Wholeheartedly, I agree. I just keep
About the
looking at
eyebrows?
this. No, I wasn't paying attention to the eyebrows.
How you didn't see the eyebrow?
She's
saw the eyebrow.
She's a beautiful woman. I get all that. I just kept looking at her. She was pinpoint accurate on everything that she was saying.
She was?
Not taking anything away from her. My God, I just feel like this will be the most boring damn conversation I would ever have with anybody.
Oh, I don't think so.
She was just like, oh, you are a walking NyQuil. Please have some type
No
of
deflection or no interjection. She stayed at that same level the whole
the whole time. Tracy was just like,
I feel for her because
oh my God,
she sounded like a recording.
I'm trying to sound professional and adroit.
She didn't even know.
I'm very boring too.
She didn't even sound professional unless you talk about a professional answering service.
No, she was speaking very clearly on purpose. She was trying to enunciate
was talking
and sound
like
calm.
this, and she never inflected her voice. And
She may not
she
be-
almost put me to sleep.
She may not be a very accomplished video person.
May have been her very first.
And I think that's the point. And
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying, but
Me
I'm gonna
too,
go
man.
different.
I
She
didn't say
sounded
I
like
said her eyebrows.
No,
We're
I would say that she's
distracting.
beautiful. I would say that she's beautiful, but then I'm
Then she had to open
cynical.
her mouth and prove me wrong. I'm like, girl, you
She
could have
was
just.
still beautiful.
But Tracy, this is
Nothing she said was
my
wrong or
thing.
bad.
No, I'm
No.
cynical though. I am cynical of TikTok. I'm cynical of Reddit. I'm cynical of YouTube. I always try to see the angle of everything that happens, and my angle, and I know I may be wrong. She may be absolutely on the level. Okay, let's make that
She was trying to go
completely
viral.
clear. I just always have this. This is one of them little TikTok models who's just trying to find a niche. And
Yes.
the niche is, hey, I'm pro.
She's pretty with a political opinion. That's what she
Yes.
was trying to
Her
operate
look
in.
shouldn't even be
And
a
to be
factor
fair,
into this.
I thought the little white girl who started the video, even though what she said was just backwards ass
Oh.
stupid, I thought she was pretty too.
What's
So
your
it's just
definition?
two pretty
Okay.
people talking.
Okay, your
Wait a minute,
definition
hold
of
on.
pretty ain't. I guess we ain't seen
Wait
it
a
the
minute,
same way.
hold on.
The same people.
Gosh,
Hell no,
nah, this, nah,
no,
bruh.
no,
bro.
She was
brother.
acting. If you calm her down a little and take some of the coffee away from her, but then the other one, she needed the coffee. So
Mm-mm.
I need you to close your eyes a little bit.
Yeah,
sis.
just don't
Good
look at her
gracious.
looks. Just look at what she's saying.
I picked up on all of that both of them were saying, and y'all were just picking on the young lady with her delivery, but I'm just saying that her delivery wasn't
The three,
that bad.
y'all was looking up on the looks. I was picking up on the delivery.
No, what I focused on wasn't about how pretty the young lady was. It was about them damn
How come
eyebrows.
you keep saying she's pretty?
Because that's the comment that you were just feeding off of.
Tracy, he's talking about the black lady. Not the
I know
white
he's talking about the black lady. How many
But
times
you,
has he
you
said
mentioned it. You've mentioned
that?
it.
No,
And
I said the
responded
three.
to it.
Y'all said it.
And so then okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You don't think the black woman was beautiful?
She okay looking. I mean, I don't
Okay,
judge women in that.
Oh,
I
my
don't.
goodness.
I literally don't look at women.
She was
It's,
okay.
yeah, I'm like,
I need
she
to
don't
see
look
what
better
your
than me.
definition
I
of
mean,
beautiful is then, because I'm missing this one.
Why are we debating this young lady's aesthetic appearance?
I have
we're not
no idea.
because she talked like a recording. That
Wait a
was
minute,
my
wait a minute.
main
Hold-
problem.
wait a minute.
Once
It
she
was a
opened her
recording.
mouth,
I'm
like,
sorry, Theus.
It was a
What was your
recording.
question again? I'm sorry.
I said,
Her eyebrows. What's going on with her eyebrows?
But that's her aesthetic appearance.
That's not about how pretty she is. It's about the
That's
dead
an
blasted
aesthetic
eyebrows.
appearance. Her eyebrows. The first thing that came out your mouth.
It's her eyebrows. Not about how pretty she was.
what was
It's
wrong
the
with her? Well,
eyebrows.
listen to what she was talking about.
I heard what she was talking
the
about.
crazy lady that was
And I
driving
was
talking
concentrating on
about.
what she was talking about. And I'm just saying that she came out sounded like she was reading from a teleprompter.
I'm pretty sure she was reading. You
Yeah.
saw how many times it blipped because you had to like stop and keep it going.
I think that's a TikTok thing. Like you got 10 seconds. I don't know.
Listen
It's
to what
10
she's
seconds to
saying
do
though.
something.
Is there outrage because let's call it what it is? Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben, they had to change their names to. I forget what they changed their names to.
I don't
There
know
was
nobody
a
about
blip.
it.
I don't think my
I only
had
use
anything
Mrs.
to do with my
Butterworth anyway.
background,
So
Parker. I don't care enough.
So
for
what do
that.
you use as pancake mix?
The whole premise is that these idiots, and I'm sorry, but you are, is thinking that the disgusting usage of these black characters somehow is same equation as using black images on more reputable
Yeah, a more
characters.
positive image.
Well,
I mean,
it's a
positive
difference
towards the black community.
She's
There's a
acting
difference
more.
between caricature and character.
Yeah, she's
what
acting like
what
I'm
you failed
supposed
to
to be
understand
happy.
was Aunt Your Mama was a
Is a mammy.
was a gross word before the pancake mix even came out. It was slavery term. So your brilliant logic was to make a pancake mix, put a black woman on with a bandana, and name it Aunt Your Mama. Please explain to me how that is a connection towards a positive character And again, I
Because
can't
to
even say this
them, it's the
with more
same
respect than I
thing.
possibly can. You sit there and literally think making a positive character a
They
different
didn't
race.
want to make a
It's
positive
not positive to
character.
them.
They wanted to make the
That's
most
their problem.
embarrassing, the
To
most
you,
Carla, but
to
what I'm saying, the
them, I
embarrassing
point
get
you
what you're
trying to
character
saying. I
of
make
a
get
is
what you're
black
lost
saying.
because
person.
I get what you're
you saying it
saying.
like you don't understand when I know you do.
No, I get exactly what you said. I'm going to speak to them like they're blithering idiots did.
Oh, well.
It was not. It wasn't a positive character. Neither was the statues that you have of Civil War generals
Or
who
presidents who
murdered,
own slaves.
who owned slaves. Neither was the Washington Redskins, who are now Washington Commandos. Even for decades, we kept telling you that Redskins is a derogatory remark.
Atlanta still
You
got the
know these
brave.
things. What you're
And
saying,
we still got the Chiefs.
and what you're saying is it's not derogatory to you
Because you like it.
because I ain't gonna even say like it. You're okay with it.
Which
No, it's
means
because
they
they
like
like it.
it.
It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your race. So, but the little black mermaid that used to be white, now it is affected, even though that's
But you know,
stupid too.
they didn't
But it
have a
is
problem with her
affecting
having a
your
black
race.
mermaid friend.
It is affecting your race and your culture, even though it's a cartoon. But let's go with it.
But remember, Ariel,
And
especially in the
mermaids aren't
cartoon
real.
series, she had black mermaid friends. So it's not the problem that there was a black mermaid. It was that you made Ariel a black
The
mermaid.
leader.
You made the lead black.
Right.
That's blasphemy.
Even though mermaids aren't real.
Don't matter.
Mermaids aren't real, people.
It doesn't matter because let's even use
'Cause we take the
cartoons
bait.
where the majority of those things are not real, Tracy. The fact that you made a positive character black.
Yeah, how dare I have a character that can read and write and speak and deduct and reason?
These
How
people,
dare I?
there's a Disney short that's coming out really soon. I don't even know what the date is, but it's literally called Disney Shorts. It's just Disney cartoons that's 10, 15, 20 minutes long. These people lost their mind because one of the cartoons is showing a heavy set ballerina and they lost it. They lost it. Like,
Fuck.
how dare you?
And
I'm
we
sorry.
keep taking the bait.
How dare we what?
Show a regular sized person dancing. How, boy, I'm telling you what.
Yo, all right, I'm just gonna read this real quick because I think this is kind of funny. So a friend of mine posted this on their social media. Stop being a fan of a celebrity who doesn't know you. Be a fan of Jesus Christ who died for you. You ain't met him either. You a fan of him too.
I'm gonna help you out on this one. When you
For
do
all
meet
intents and
Jesus,
purposes, they both celebrities that you believe that you really like.
when you meet Jesus Christ, when you meet Jesus, we ain't gonna know you met him. Take my word for it. There's only one way to meet him.
No, there's two.
Oh no, with the shaking his hand.
Well, what's the two? What's the two, Tracy?
You pass on.
Mhm.
Right.
He comes back.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But when he comes back, didn't you just die? Because like he's coming back and he's wiping it all out.
No, when he comes back, they're all alive.
Yeah, where some people will still be alive.
Oh, the time of tribulation?
The rapture.
No, the rapture is different. The rapture is you avoiding the time of tribulation.
Have you
that's the first call.
Not read? Oh, I'll get what you're saying.
No, the rapture is the first call, and then behind that you get the time of tribulation.
Yeah,
and then when it's time, he come on back with the red sword or whatever, which is probably going to be a nuclear blast because the Bible's full of allegory. But
and I'll explain it to you in a second. Okay.
And it's like, what is y'all talking
You
about?
don't need to. You don't need
And it's
to.
like, let that one go.
And it's like, just let it go. I
There's
don't
a
care.
book called Left Behind. That's how I learned about
Oh
it.
no!
But
Read the
that's
book
come
of
on, bro.
Revelation.
No.
Nah.
That's Christo.
No, man, that
I
stuff is
love
full of
those
that is
books.
It's
garbage.
garbage.
Read the
I
book of
love
you'd
those
be
books.
The
better
book of
off
Revelation is gonna
placing.
get you closer.
Yeah, you'd be a whole lot. Nah, not no Left Behind. He just
Left
putting in all
Behind,
his own
love
stuff.
those books.
You
That
was
is
Left
looking.
so
Behind
funny.
messed up a whole
Show
generation of
did
white
messed them
Christians.
all
Boy,
up.
they
I'm like,
messed.
nah, y'all, that is not what. No.
Okay, Anna,
Don't listen to Marlon. Anna, don't you listen to him.
from my Left Behind knowledge.
I am not a Christian, so.
Yeah, that's so. From my Left Behind knowledge, what had happened was God has decided to bring His church to heaven. The chaos erupt from that by this being the situation. Yeah, there was no warning. 1 minute somebody's there, the next minute they won't. Plane, train, automobile, whatever. You was there, now you're not. So whatever happens while you were driving a car, you're a Christian, you go to heaven, that car is just going to crash because you're no longer there. The rest of it is just like Indiana
It was
Jones.
work of fiction. Is what it was.
Yeah, so Mike, don't you read that book and
Indiana Jones stuff.
read the book of
Don't worry about it,
Revelation.
Tracy.
Just
You get as much out of that as you get out of Hunger Games. I'm just saying.
Yep, just watch any of those
Even
movies.
Hunger Games is actually a pretty good movie series, though.
It was funny after a while because it was like, and the guy came, he spoke so eloquently that he went to the UN, and the UN just made him president.
But don't you understand? But Marlon, that's what's so sad. That's what's so sad about this. See,
people bought that stuff hook and line and sinker.
People who are acting out so bad right now, they grew up on that. These are the people who grew up on the Left Behind series. So to them, it's the Left Behind series did almost as much damage to Christianity as Dante's Inferno did to Christianity in its time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people absorbed it as though it was additional text when really it was just an author's interpretation.
Yeah, it was his bad, awful, not biblically based interpret. I'm like, man, you so far off. I can't even.
So y'all ain't going for the mark of Christ, just only visible to other Christians on your forehead.
I don't know what's gonna happen. And first of all, because since I don't believe in the magic book the same way everybody else does, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know that however mankind ultimately leaves, we'll find out together. So if my main thing is, can you at least try to, no matter what your belief system is, can you hold to the basic tenets, which I think should be universal? And then, God will sort it out at the end. Because at the end of the day, we all guessing anyway.
He's going to sort it out.
All of us are guessing.
Yeah, but Left Behind, Marlon, don't you tell nobody else that ever, don't you?
I got to like the third book, and I started looking at the third.
You went past the first.
I went back.
Wait a
I
minute.
went to the third book.
You went to the third book. That means you read the first one, you read the second one, and then you went.
Yeah, that's how the third
thing,
book reading goes, Tracy. You read the first, and you go to the second one. Why did you even bother?
As soon as you got to the first chapter of the first book, you should have been like, "Nah, I'm done."
Well, you got to remember though, Tracy, how I am now is not how I was then. I was still just young and curious.
Yeah.
The movie
sucked
rocks, by the way.
There's no such thing as a good Left Behind movie.
But a question for you though, in the adaptation, like when the people were like poof, be gone, did they take their clothes with them?
No, their clothes was left behind.
So you telling me that God took a whole bunch of naked people, even though our corporal shell literally was designed for this plane of existence. So No way. If the
Again,
rapture is real, then when it occurs, wouldn't just my spirit go?
uh,
Because that's when the graves are supposed to
See,
give up their dead. And
yeah,
so
DC you making too much sense because the Left Behind
Anna,
series
hold
don't make
on, hold on,
none.
everybody. Anna, what he said is that your body is the same essence as your clothes. So you're not going to take your body to heaven either. Your body, your clothes is here. It's your spirit
But
is.
in the movies, they just left
I
the clothes and
understand
the
But in the
body
corporal form
movie,
and
disappeared.
non-corporal form.
I
Yes.
know I'm like, why are you interpreting it? I'm speaking the same language.
but she kept looking like, what the hell is
Because
he
it's
talking about? I
crazy.
was like- But I don't know if he's. But see, Anna, I never know if Anna said, "What the hell is he talking about?" or "This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life." It's the same expression.
And I tell you what, y'all all need to do: drink Wilkins coffee.
Yeah, okay.
Or else.
I don't even know what's so funny that the fact that Thea's and Tracy just has this thing now where drink Wilson coffee or else.
Wilkins.
I don't give a damn. They ain't even in the business anymore. What do I care?
That commercials.
Wow, that is
I
not
know
very
all
nice,
the people
Marlon.
that was employed by Wilkins Coffee and their children.
Built their whole career off
I
of
know,
it,
don't
fed their
care nothing
families.
about it.
Your career failed. 2022 just told you that your career failed. You had the creator of the Muppets helping you, and you still failed.
Did they
That's
fail,
how
or did it
bad
just
your
run
coffee was,
or it just ran its course?
or you are a failure.
Jim Henson is not a failure. Now
No,
that you
Jim Henson couldn't even save that coffee place. That's how bad your coffee was. Jim
How
Henson
long was
couldn't save
Wilkins
you.
Coffee in business?
2 years.
yeah, about 2 years.
Okay, yeah, that failed.
Yeah, about 2 years. But they commercials will ever have made an impact.
To you. To you. Tracy, tell everybody where they can find you.
When you can't find me drinking Wilkins coffee, you'll find me on my website, tracymediallc.com.
This.
ComplexSimpleMan.com.
Emma.
MoreliaEtc.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. I truly appreciate everybody that came out this weekend. Please do not forget to hit that like button on the way out the door. So until next time, we will see you. We will see you. Peace.
Or else.
Wilson Coffee and Crew sucks.